All right. So I'm getting ready to take this stump out right here with my Witch SK900 and a custom stump bucket that my neighbor James Smith from Twisted Custom Metals in Flushing, Michigan made for me. So I'll do a little scan. So last week we had some pretty big storm Thursday night going into Friday morning, and it took out 11 of my mature pine trees. I don't know if you can see these, I'll just scan those. So it took out 11 of them. So, and 2 apple trees out there. Sorry about the camera angle, I got the tripod way up. So anyways, I'm going to make a video of me digging this stump out with the SK900, see how that goes. So give me a second to get this tripod set up. Because the ground will do some thumping as I'm putting it in there. So anyways, all right, I'm gonna get the machine out here. We'll get started. Let me just explain real quick what I have found that it works best. You kind of jiggle the stump just a little bit, and it helps to kind of find out, oh, I think there's a root over here or there, whatever. Anyway, so now I've identified where a root is, and what I'll do is I'll get underneath it, and then I put some up pressure so the front of the machine is kind of like, the back of the machine almost wants to lift up. So so now the machine's kind of like putting some up pressure on a little bit. And then I'll just sit there and go in and out. You know, you don't got to sit there and slam it and stuff. Sometimes you'll hit it hard enough that the machine shuts off. Not a big deal. Try not. If he does that, you know you're going a little too hard. And so I'll sit there and saw this thing back and forth like 10, 15 times ish, and then I might come and dig around a little bit, and then pop it loose, and then I'll just probe around the stump, find the main one. There's usually only a couple of main ones on the pine. gotta be one towards the front that's hanging me up. I'll get it. All right, well, camera says 12 minutes, 35 seconds right now, so in that little bit of talk time and stuff. So, yeah, let me see. So you can see the size of the stump. I mean, it's up, I mean, the roots, but they're not that bad, you know, for a pine. It leaves a pretty good hole, but you can see. And then, so that was the first one I took out. And then I decided I should make a video. So got a few more to go. The ones that are not leaning already leaning from the getting pulled over, because 2 trees just snapped right off at like 10 feet up. They just snapped, just like the neighbors over there. 2 of them just broke. One was twisted and one was clean snap. So yeah, anyways, hopefully I didn't bore you to death. It didn't go exactly how I had kind of had envisioned it. You know, the first one came out a little bit easier. And so one thing I did is I didn't follow my own thing. Is like, I knew there was another, I'm not gonna call it taproot, but one of the larger roots around on the other side, and I just got lazy, didn't go over there. So anyways, hope you liked it. Again, that's custom stump bucket. Let you look at it from here. It's like 39 inches long with the 3 excavator teeth out on the end. So, you know, I bought these excavator teeth, and I bought the back plate, the quick attach back plate, and then he made everything else. So it's all 1/2 inch steel too. 1/2 inch, because you can't mess around with something like this because you're putting some heart into it. So anyways, I hope you liked it. I enjoyed making it for you.